Welcome back to another episode of Business Highlight, a show by the Boca Raton Tribune. I'm your host, Pedro. And before we get started, make sure to follow us on our social medias. It's at Boca Tribune on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at bocatribune.tv. And in Business Highlight, we talk to local business professionals about what they do and how they help out the community. And today I have the pleasure of speaking with David Shaheen. He is a lawyer at Jed Lawyers. David, thank you so much for your time. What's up, man?
Hey, it's a privilege and an honor to be on here with you, Pedro.
So what's up? So we were talking off air, and time just works out perfectly in a way that you're on today, and so we'll get to that. But before we get there, tell us about yourself. Introduce yourself to the people that might not know who you are.
Yeah, my name is David Shaheen. I live right here in Boca Raton. Went to high school right up the street at St. Andrews. Love it here in Boca Raton, and I practice at a law firm called Jed Lawyers right off of Federal in between Yamato and Linton. I play tennis in my free time, played tennis in college. So if you want to play tennis with me, I'll put my cell phone number in at the end as well. We can talk about tips. We can talk about tennis. Have a great time.
Yeah. So, you're at Jed Lawyers. How long have you been there, and what kind of law do you specialize in over there?
I've been at this particular firm for 3 years. I was practicing in another law firm, the second largest one in the state, actually. I was trying a case that had gone to trial. And while I was there, one of the attorneys was in the same courtroom, saw me doing closing argument, and they gave me an offer, and that's how I ended up at Jed Lawyers. I was actually there about 9 years ago today.
Wow.
So now I'm back. And the type of law that I specialize in now is home insurance. So if there's a hurricane that ends up coming, I know Tropical Storm Elsa's on the way. If that ends up hitting, we go after the insurance company, make sure we get you everything that you need to fix your home, bring it back to the way it was before it got damaged.
Mm-hmm. And what got you interested in this field of law?
It's interesting, actually. My dad was actually involved in some litigation when I was growing up. He was in a lawsuit, and it was a case that we all felt like he should have won. We felt like the facts were pretty clear on his side, and it ended up going all the way to trial. And his attorney couldn't really explain these complex legal terms to a jury. And he kept using these big words. His cell phone kept going off in closing argument. He wouldn't turn his cell phone off. And just the way he kind of carried himself in the courtroom, it didn't really play in my dad's favor. And he ended up losing the case. It was a case where we should have won. We thought it was pretty clear, cut and dry, but he couldn't explain it to a jury. And it was after that I really wanted to go to law school. I always felt like I could try and get my dad's case back and try and win it for him. But unfortunately, when I went to law school, my first year in one of our intro classes, we learned that there's this thing called the statute of limitations, which unfortunately says you can't bring a lawsuit back after a certain amount of time. So then I was really questioning what I was doing in law school at that point. But, I really loved it. And I really felt like, especially going up against these insurance companies here in Boca Raton, they can spend millions and billions and trillions of dollars on hiring the best experts, on the best engineers, the best technicians, the best attorneys. So if someone in Boca Raton wanted to challenge their insurance claim, they have to go up against these juggernauts. And how can the average person do that when they don't have billions and trillions of dollars to go up against them? Yeah. I see it as kind of leveling the playing field against the insurance companies that have their day in court and have justice brought to their homes.
Yeah. So, we mentioned a little bit earlier about Tropical Storm Elsa that could potentially be on the way. What are some of the most common mistakes that you see people do when it comes to preparing for a hurricane?
There's a couple of things. The first thing that I most commonly see is people say that they have full coverage. Their insurance agent told them they're fully covered. They're fully covered for their home. But if you look at your policy, oftentimes you may be paying a great premium, maybe a lower premium, but you don't have the necessary coverages like water coverage, like wind coverage, like hurricane coverage, like mold coverage. I mean, with all the horrible atrocity that's going down in Miami with that condo building that collapsed. What if the policy doesn't cover sinkholes? I mean, it's happening more and more in Boca. We're getting claims now for sinkholes in Boca. We never thought Boca had sinkholes, but so you have to check your policy and make sure that you have these coverages. And they write these policies that 100, 200 pages for a reason, so you never check for these things. So if you want me to take a look at it, consultations are always free. I'm happy to take a look. I'll give my cell phone number at the end. I can read through the policy and just see what we have, and make sure you're fully covered for this hurricane season. But do it before we get into hurricane season, because it may be too late to make a claim if you don't have the coverage. You don't want to wait until the hurricane hits to find out you don't have coverage. Let's take a look at it now.
Yeah, if you guys want to reach out to David, his phone number will be below right now. I believe it's 561-504-2788. Give him a call, like he said, and he'll be happy to consultate. First consultation is free, you said?
All consultations are free. You don't have to sign a contract with me. We can always chat. I can read through your policy for free and just make sure you're covered.
Look at that. So that's one of the main mistakes that you see people do. What are some of the other common ones that maybe it's like urban legends when it comes to or myths when it comes to protecting a house during a hurricane that you've seen in your years of expertise that it doesn't work and people need to stop doing?
I've done over 1,000 of these, and I think the biggest thing that I see is most people think their insurance company is there to find coverage for them or try and protect them or try and pay for things. And oftentimes they'll say that the damages were from before whenever the event was. So if a hurricane hits, they're going to say, oh, it was related to some other hurricane in the past. So the damages were there before, or it was improper installation, like the roof wasn't put on properly. Or, you were having your roof pressure washed and the pressure washer cracked your tiles, or roofers cracked your tiles, or whatever it is. So what I always recommend is right now, when we're done with the show, go out, take pictures of your home, take pictures of the outside, take pictures of your roof, take pictures of the inside. That way, if you make a claim and your insurance company says the damages were from before the storm or before the leak or whatever the damages first showed up, if they say it all happened from before and they deny your claim, you can say, nope, look at these photographs. I took these photographs a week ago, a day ago, a month ago. Look, there was no damages to my roof. I didn't have 100 broken tiles. There's no damages to the outside. There's no damages to the inside. And hopefully your insurance will cover you then. If not, that's where we step in and help the rest of the way.
Yeah. And what are some ways that, obviously you just mentioned a big one, take photos, but are there other ways that people can prevent themselves from having these issues with the insurance companies?
Yes, we want to make sure everything's documented. Oftentimes the insurance company loves sending out paperwork. They try and distract you with all this paperwork. They make you might think, oh, I don't have to pay attention to these letters that are coming in from them. They're just saying they received my claim. What I've seen a lot of insurance companies do these days is tucked away in your policy, there's a provision, a little paragraph in there that says your duties after a loss. And a loss is if you have damage to your property. Your duties are you have to answer their letters back if they ask for certain information. So they may say, hey, provide us with any photographs that you have. Hey, provide us with any estimates that you have. Hey, we want to hear your side of the story. Give us a call and let's talk about your side of the story. And oftentimes people won't do that. But there's time limits on these things. I've seen 60 days, I've seen 20 days, I've seen 30 days, and you have to comply with those or they can turn around and say, hey, we're denying your claim because you didn't comply with your duties after a loss. You didn't obey those. And you signed a contract saying you would. And I've seen courts, especially in Miami, throw these cases out because someone will come to me, they won't comply with their duties after a loss. And then the court will throw it out. They don't come to me. If they come to me, we'll make sure everything's taken care of first. They go to attorneys and they don't set it up properly and the case gets thrown out. So we want to make sure that we're reading between the lines with these insurance companies. They're putting in these special magic words. We want to make sure that your claim is set up properly so that when you challenge it, you'll be in a great position to get that decision by the insurance company overturned.
So you've been there. So you said you've been at Jed Lawyers for about 3 years, right? What has been some of your most memorable moments there so far?
For me, the ones that always stand out are really our elderly community. We have to protect the elderly community. I won't say what that age is, but we have to protect them because what the insurance company is doing is what I think they're doing is they're looking at the age of the homeowner and they're just denying the claim. And I can tell you, when I worked for the insurance company, defending insurance companies back in the day, they have actuaries that crunch these numbers. And I remember an actuary telling me that they know that only 2% of people who have their claims denied, when there's an engineer that the insurance company hires and sends to the property, okay, 2% of people will go and challenge that claim, okay? Wow. So they know the whole psychology behind this. People are thinking, oh, well, an engineer says that my roof was damaged because of damage that was from before the hurricane. So who am I to challenge that? It's a whole psychological thing. So, my best stories are the older widowed lady that has her claim denied, and we're getting her full coverage for the roof because we challenged it. I mean, it happens all the time. We're getting case after case after case of our elderly community that says, I've never been on my roof before. How come they're telling me that the roof was damaged because of foot traffic? I haven't had anyone pressure wash my roof before. I can't see what's up there. The insurance company will say, oh, well, you reported your claim too late. Unfortunately, it's happening to our veterans as well. We get plenty of veterans that come to us all the time, and we get their damages covered. And they're telling me, David, I'm disabled. How could I possibly get on my roof. I had a disabled veteran come to me recently. We got him paid fully, and he's in a wheelchair, and they're saying, well, you were on your roof, but they never asked him if he was ever on his roof. They didn't even know who he was. How could they say
Wow.
your claim is denied because of foot traffic? And they said it was because of him. So, I have so many stories about people that are just wrongly having their insurance claims denied, and they're not challenging them. And, that's why, I really want to give myself a number at the end. I know you just gave it. I want to give it again at the end. If you want to call me, consultations are always free. We don't charge these retainer fees. We're not going to say, hey, here's $5,000, give us $5,000. We're going to do work up to $5,000. Come back and give us another $5,000. If we don't get a recovery, we don't take a percentage of the claim. If we get a recovery, the insurance company has to pay down our percentage. But information is free. We want to protect this community. We want to show the insurance company they can't keep taking advantage of Boca Raton. So if you want to give me a call, we can check out your coverage decision. You want to just chat, I'll give my cell phone number again at the end.
Mm-hmm. And so now for people that might be wondering, you do a lot of home insurance law, and it's not just obviously the biggest part of it is during hurricane season, but you see a lot of traffic outside of that too, right?
Yes. So one thing that we're seeing now is the cast iron pipes. Cast iron pipes are breaking, and it's really from homes that were built from around the 70s and before then. They're all built with cast irons, and they're breaking. I mean, they're not meant to last forever. So we're seeing pipe leaks, we're seeing sewage backups, and those are great claims. It could be just your average leak in the home. It could just be some mold that you had that you didn't know about, that maybe you started smelling something, and come to find out there's tons of mold damage hidden behind the walls, hidden behind the baseboards. We do mold claims. We do pipe leaks. We do water leaks. We do any type of damage that happens to your home, fire, anything that can happen to your home, any type of damage. That's where we're going, and we're challenging insurance claims, and we're gotten over thousands overturned.
Wow. So shifting gears a little bit to just life as a whole, obviously a year ago, COVID happened, everything changed. And how did COVID impact the way people practice law in the last year, and how has it been beneficial and how has it been difficult at the same time?
Well, it's been interesting because everything's gone to Zoom. So a lot of our hearings now, we're not going inside of the courtroom, we're doing them over Zoom. I'll tell you, it helps us because we've been able to push these files a lot more. Because we don't have to wait 2 months, 3 months to get a hearing date. Right? You can't get in front of the judge for 2 to 3 months oftentimes before COVID because everyone wants to get in front of the judge. Let's say, the insurance company isn't doing something you want them to do. You send them a request for documents. They don't want to give you the documents. Well, you got to get in front of the judge, tell the judge, hey, they're not giving me the documents. Now I can get a hearing on Zoom, and it's a lot quicker, and the judges can just pump these hearings out. So we're getting settlements a lot faster. Actually, our numbers are up. Our settlements are up, and they're higher since COVID started because we're able to get on Zoom and we're able to push these files a lot faster. Mediations are happening sooner. Mediation is where you come to the table with the other side, really on a Zoom meeting now with a mediator, and we try and get the cases settled. That has to happen on most cases. So we're getting cases settled faster through mediation. Depositions are happening a lot easier. People can't say, oh, I don't want to go out of my house because of COVID. Well, now you have to be here because we got Zoom. So we're taking depositions over Zoom. So we've been able to push these files a lot better. And right now, some courts are starting to open up, some aren't. So we're still able to push these files a lot faster and get settlements faster and get homes fixed a lot faster.
Yeah. So what is one of your favorite parts of practicing law?
My favorite part is really just being able to protect the people of Boca Raton. I mean, we really feel like we're helping the community and protecting them. I mean, they pay all these premiums to insurance companies to have their homes protected. I mean, the home is where you feel like you should be the safest. I mean, I feel like my home should be protected, especially when I'm paying thousands in premiums every year to an insurance company. I mean, I hear stories from people all the time. Hey, I paid this insurance company for 20 years, and now I make a claim and they deny me. I never made a claim before, 30 years, 40 years. I've been with the same insurance company, and now my home was infested with mold, and they're telling me it's my fault. So my favorite part is feeling like we're really protecting the community, really taking care of the elderly, really taking care of people that just don't know how to read and navigate through these insurance policies. I mean, they're 100, 200 pages for a reason. And oftentimes, your insurance agent doesn't even give you your full policy. So you have all these endorsements at the end that are saying, actually, we're changing your policy, and you don't have water coverage. You don't have wind coverage. But you wouldn't know that because your insurance agent isn't giving you your full policy. That may not be on purpose. They're just not giving you a certified copy of the policy. That's what we request. We make sure we know exactly what's going on in your policy, and we protect this community from the hurricanes and the damages to your home and your insurance company denying your claim.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, guys. Again, talking to David Shaheen of Jed Lawyers. If you guys want to reach out to him, his number is on the screen right now. It's 561-504-2788. He'll love to help you figure out what's going on with your insurance claims and all that good stuff. David, before I let you go, I ask this question of everyone, so you're not different, but I'm going to twist it up a little bit because of your profession. So what is some advice that you would give the younger audience or someone that's interested in getting into law and in the future? Like what would that, like a piece of advice or two, be for that person?
Sure. Well, you can put my cell phone number up again. I'll give it again at the end. I'd love to talk to any young attorneys or anyone that's really getting interested in getting into the legal field and becoming an attorney. When you think about just the layout and the landscape of America today. These big corporations are running our country. Some are doing a great job. Some are actually hurting us, right? I mean, we're seeing all these different things in the news with Facebook or Twitter or different things that are happening.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the big pharmaceutical companies, and we love Facebook, we love Twitter, we love the pharmaceutical companies, but some are doing some bad things. And
right.
If anything happens, if anything bad happens, how does the average person level the playing field against these multi-million, billion, trillion-dollar corporations, insurance companies, right? How is that going to happen? That's why we have the court system. So you have a chance to represent people that can't represent themselves. You have a chance to help people that can't help themselves. You have a chance to go up against the best. You have a chance to grow intellectually. I love it because, my father was involved in some litigation and he didn't have a great attorney. He went up against a juggernaut and he lost. But it's because he wasn't properly represented. You have a great opportunity by going to law school to not only learn about the law, to not only learn about what the founding principles this country was founded on, why things work, why the judicial system does what it does, but also it helps you if you want to write the laws, if you want to change the laws of this country, if you think things aren't going well with this country, if there's not justice, you have a chance to create justice. You have a chance to create new laws. You have a chance to help people that can't help themselves, help your community and help generations ahead of you, help your children live a better life. So I would encourage anyone to go to law school. If you're passionate about the law, if you're passionate about this country, if you're passionate about Boca Raton and helping people, then I would highly encourage you to get into the law. Don't just do it for the money, do it to help people.
Right. That's a good point. Don't just do it for the money, do it to help people. That should be a slogan. That's good. Dave, before we head out, is there anything else that you'd like to add to the listeners?
Yeah, I just want to remind everyone again, I'm here in Boca Raton. I love this community. That's why I want to give my cell phone number out again. It's 561-504-2788. Again, that's 561-504-2788. That's my personal cell phone. It's not my business phone. It's my personal cell phone. You can call. You can text me. I'd love to just take a look at your insurance policy. Maybe you've made a claim and you've gotten denied, and maybe this kind of opened your eyes to what's going on with these insurance companies. I'd love to take a look at your policy. I'm never going to charge for it. Again, we don't charge retainers. If we get a recovery, we take a percentage, but the insurance company can cover that percentage if we can prove money above what they offered. So again, consultations are always free. I'm here to help. I'm here to give the Boca Tribune the Boca Tribune discount to all of its viewers. Whatever I can do to help. We love Boca Raton. We want to make it the best city out there.
Awesome. David, thank you so much for your time coming on, talking to us today. Really appreciate all your knowledge and everything you've told us and the listeners on what they can do about their insurance policies. Thank you again for your time. Really appreciate it.
Pedro, thanks for having me on the show. I love the Boca Tribune. Keep doing what you do.
Take care, buddy. I love you.
Love you. Bye.
All right, guys, that's going to be it for the show today. Thank you for joining us, Business Highlight. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, bocatribune.tv. You can subscribe there, get all notifications and everything. Follow us on social media at Boca Tribune, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the whole nine. But for now, that'll be it for the show today. Have a great weekend. We'll see you guys next week.